Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Monday, June 17th, 2024. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? And I have the first 5 cards in our 5-card spread. We're loving this energy today. We've got Page of Cups here. We've got positivity, we've got easement, we've got moving into that vibration that feels a little bit more playful today. So this is almost like a continuation right now on the energy from the weekend. I'm also seeing here that there's a lot of that sense. I want to stress this. A lot of the energy that we're seeing right now, it's not a big time in terms of making big decisions. A lot of those big decisions we were identifying were happening during Taurus season. And then we discovered that like a lot of the beginning of this Gemini season has been really amplified, the fact that that was that point of activation, right? Earlier this month, in the last few weeks, we saw a lot of that fast decision energy that was being required. Now, we see that this is a little bit of that moment of riding the current in relationality to anything that you may have already put or implemented into practice. For masculine and feminine energy right now that is in the divine union frequency, one of the reasons, and I need to stress this, that we saw navigating through that element of surprise, if you will, we saw that a lot, any rockiness that we were registering last week had a lot to do with the energy outside the divine union frequency. That smoothing over, if you will, articulating, bringing someone up to speed. One of the reasons that we see that a lot of the energy right now, even if something about like that surprise element that is around the divine union frequency is working so fastidiously in order to effectively not match any kind of energetic vibration, but raising that energetic vibration. That is all from that state or space of trying to increase the mirth, trying to increase the positivity. Because again, if there were miscommunications here about things, the activation point of energy within the union that is moving very quickly, versus the surprise and trepidation of energy outside the union that doesn't share that feeling of mirth. This is why we see that so much of that energy around the divine union is almost trying to amplify and try to like share that energetic message, if you will, because that's like almost that again, that like share, like that extension of positivity, that amplification of joy. A lot of the energy within the divine union is almost helping the energy on the periphery of the divine union feel some of that positivity, because that is that moment of almost helping through anything that feels like it's shifting quickly, by almost adding that like balm and saying that even if something shifts quickly, it could be because of positive reasons. So we see even there that there's a lot of that sense, or that energetic sense of like joy, or radiating joy and satisfaction that is being communicated and articulated by energy within the divine union. While for energy that is coming into the divine union, this could be the fulfillment or gratification of some plans that were put into motion last week. Because what we are effectively identifying is there was a lot of energy right now utilizing a lot more trepidation prior to building energetic connections. The energy coming into the divine union frequency right now, we were seeing and we were articulating upon this very heavily last week, having a lot of energetic hygiene. Right? What does energetic hygiene look like? Making sure that someone is moving in the same direction as you prior to building an energetic connection. Making sure that you are on the same page. And this energy, while it was articulating and amplifying that sense or that state of trepidation, it was all for the sake of not wanting to create an unhealed karmic connection. So what is happening right now with these energies that are moving towards each other, not from a place of potentiality, being that moment of not knowing what is going to happen, having that wait or see approach. The last time we read for this energy was the fact that we saw that it was taking a wait and see approach around places and spaces that were showing possibility. And possibility is something that is showing that it already has an ability to happen. It's already presently there. It's just a question of, again, amplifying something to a larger degree. So we see even now that a lot of the energy right now that is moving into the divine union frequency, feeling some level or degree of satisfaction, feeling some level or degree of joy, because this is an energy that is taking anxiety with them as they go. This is that moment or modality of feeling like that anxiety was alleviated prior to even building into the connection. While for masculine and feminine energy and separation right now, if these are energies that disengaged from energetic connections wherein they felt the similarity in relationality to past experiences where they may have taken the same energetic lessons, yet, they did not see that same capacity of articulation being presented in an ability to talk forward, inability to talk about what one was hoping to manifest. This energy, having that moment of being able to separate away from something and move forward at that time, that is indicative of the energetic breakthrough that a lot of the energy in separation is having right now by seeing and observing the changes in the self that are allowing for more positivity or more abundance to come in. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy that's doing that work, there's that sense of personal satisfaction that is coming through. But that personal satisfaction is the amplification point of feeling like one is seeing and recognizing something about one's own manifestation goals that is coming into fruition via the way one is energetically navigating the space and place around you that feels different than the past version of self. That's almost that sense of energetic newness, because what do we articulate as energetic newness? That moment that we start making different decisions, we feel like we are new because we no longer feel like we are the person that would have made those other decisions in the first place. Second card in our 5-card spread for today is, we have here our 2 of Wands in its upright. Beautiful energy to be coming in right now, because what we're effectively seeing even for the energy in separation, this is energy that is not hesitating in separation. This is energy moving forward, making new energetic connections. This is energy that's speaking from a place of confidence, of security, because this is energy that doesn't feel like they're moving wildly or willy-nilly. There's a lot of intentionality that this energy is putting in relationality to being able to express how they feel. And that lightness that occurs when one has gone through that pathwork of introspection, a lot of this energy is in that state or space where they are feeling satisfied with those choices that they made. And they're able to articulate and amplify and communicate that not only to anything that they're energetically disengaging with, but also into new energetic counterparts or new energetic connections, because this is the energy that is focusing on their manifestation goal. This isn't energy here that is trying to withhold their manifestation goal to see what happens. This is energy that is leading with the manifestation goal in relationality to positive, forthright connections. And even here, if these are energies that started to feel something picking up with someone and now is putting it down, this isn't energy that is questioning themselves in that way, because this is energy that can fully articulate as to why. And that ability to articulate as to why, it feels like that moment of, again, immediately being able to shed any unhealed karma around something, because often recognizing and understanding the energetic lesson is how we are able to move through life more effectively, because we're not moving in a place of misunderstanding or lack of understanding. We are feeling that sense of delight because we're energetically learning as we go. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, this is the robust mirth. This is like a lot of this mirth energy. There's a lot of this positivity, because this is energy that facilitated doing the hard part first. This is energy that's not leading towards each other, being resistant or reluctant to talk about the manifestation goals. This is the energetic equivalent of energy that's doing that work in being as clear and unarticulate as possible in relationality to what you feel. And we could even see that a lot of this energy may have had breakthroughs this weekend. It may have come into connection. We're effectively seeing this because we see that there was a lot of delight or joy that may have been amplified over this last 2 days. So that ability of communicating through those moments, that ability of being able to open up energetically, if you will, this is a lot of the energy right now that feels like something is blossoming between them and another energetic counterpart. But what's beautiful about that blossoming process is it's not requiring a state or space of feeling uncertainty as to whether one person is feeling it or another. Because if these are energies that have articulated and already had that moment of being vulnerable to one another to such an extent that they were able to articulate upon the manifestation goals, then this is the energy that's almost communicating their delight and expectation, because this is energy that is being vulnerable as they proceed forward, right? So this is like the start of something very beautiful. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is within the divine union frequency, a lot of this energetic equivalent that we're seeing right now is the communication of your delight, is the communication of your mirth. Because if this is energy that was experiencing any kind of surprise in relationality to any changes that are occurring around the energy deep within the divine union frequency, that ability of helping someone recognize and understand and see the joy radiant in those choices, that in itself almost feels like that sense of, of gladness. It's almost like helping the energy recognize and understand what is coming with them along the way by the amplification of the energy that feels the same energetic joy in seeing in seeing the energy and divine union moving in this way. That's almost like feeling like, again, it's like laying that trail, if you will, of energy that is similarly feeling that positivity in relationality to the manifestation coming into fruition. Third card in our 5-card spread for today is one card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our 4 of Cups, and it's upright. A lot of this work that we see right now within the divine union frequency. What's interesting about it is the energy within the divine union frequency has made those choices. They're moving. We've seen a lot of activation over the last few weeks of the energy within the frequency. This is the energy that is moving into that place of offering, offering those opportunities, offering those choices, offering those perspectives to energy outside the divine union frequency. Because we see even now that a lot of that energy within the divine union frequency has had a lot of this work. I have to say, they've been having to do a lot of work on the periphery of the union frequency in helping the energy understand and articulate upon what they're seeing within. So that ability of effectively not only coming into a space of clarifying, helping energy understand where you are energetically, helping them recognize and understand the positivity coming into play. That's also that moment that we see that I told you that we saw even last week. There may have been a lot of energy in the divine union frequency helping others through their own personal processes right now. So we see even now the gift of the energy within the divine union frequency right now is offering a different perspective. It's simply that. It is being able to offer a different perspective. And that different perspective is that moment of amplification, if you will, of positivity that's coming in. Because that's that moment. And it's really interesting because a lot of the energy within the divine union frequency is almost experiencing and expressing to energy outside the divine union frequency. It is like how simple it can be if you just concentrate or work towards what feels like it is creating that sensor space or the amplification of joy to the largest expanse effectively, right? Like that's almost that moment that we see even now, that a lot of the energy coming into divine, in the divine union frequency, maybe helping someone to see or take a more optimistic outlook on something, or providing a more optimistic perspective, because a lot of that energetically is the divine union frequency that is, again, extending or amplifying their own perspective to those that are not within it. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into the divine union frequency, this is that feeling of experiencing that occurring between you and counterpart energy. Because again, if these are energies that are moving towards each other with a sense of again, compassion, again, relinquishing the energetic outcome for the sake of one's own intention by articulating upon those manifestation goals and even recognizing where your manifestation goals may differ. This is energy that feels the amplification of something different that's occurring around them, because it is the amplification of the gift of choice that this energy is giving one another, that is the full expression and expansion of love, because these are energies that have worked through their own vulnerability to such an extent that that ability to articulate and amplify from a place of intentionality in such a way, that is the energy that feels like they're receiving something that is energetically different, because this is energy that is recognizing that work, that ability of being able, having to do that hard work first, pays off in that ability of being able to feel like one can trust someone, even at a time that you're building into a new experience with them. because that is that moment that doesn't feel like that sense of not having clarity or not being sure where something's going. This is energy that's doing everything they can to shine a light ahead of them as they go, that creates that expression of feeling the confidence in experiencing something and not needing to hold it to oneself, but almost being able to express it with the counterpart, because you've already started to build the trust that is integral, like the strong foundations of what could be a very beautiful relationship. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, this is why the energy right now in separation is moving forward into experiencing and taking new approaches that are leading them immediately away from what isn't for them, back into the possibility of what could be. Because if these are energetic frequencies right now that have been utilizing that pathwork of discernment, they've been putting a lot of their focus into working on what their manifestation goals are. This is the energy that's basically saying to themselves that a large part of their manifestation goal, and this is what's beautiful about manifestation goals, some of this energy has moved back their manifestation goal to be as easy as manifesting energy that has a manifestation goal, that is able to articulate upon what a manifestation goal is. The ability to be able to speak forward towards something is a lot of the manifestation goal that we see that a lot of the energy in separation is taking forward at this time. So being able to articulate that, this is the energy that realizes and recognizes that there's a change that is occurring around them, but the change isn't occurring around them, it's occurring within them. Because that is the ability of suddenly holding on to something within the self, utilizing something within the self that is calibrating your own perception. And that is changing the perception of the energetic frequency in relationality to what's approaching them. Utilizing that pathwork of discernment to either, again, move into that binary of saying it's either there or it's not. It's either expressing itself or it isn't. And the energy isn't agonizing as to why a manifestation goal is present, because this is the energy that says, if I'm trying to manifest energy that is able to articulate on a manifestation goal, it's either there or it's not. And if it's not there, it's not the manifestation, right? Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Fourth card in our 5-card spread for today is, we've got here the Wheel of Fortune in its reversal. And what we're seeing for a lot of the energy right now that is in separation is a lot of this energy in separation is almost moving into that vibration of recognizing and identifying and saying, like, again, the beauty of this is a lot of the energy in separation is almost coming to that standard of saying, like, I'll wait. This is the energy that's, again, like almost being patient. But what's important about this isn't the type of energy that is working on manifestation, saying if a manifestation isn't present in a place, I will wait for it to express itself. This is the energy in separation, recognizing and identifying, right? It's like if you're looking for salt, right? And you go open the cupboard, and there's no salt in front of you. Do you say to yourself, oh, there's no salt here. I guess that there's no salt in the house. I guess I'll just wait here. And maybe if I sit in front of the cupboard long enough, the salt will magically appear. No, this is the energy that is taking that same approach in relationality to their manifestation goals. It's saying, when I'm looking for salt and I look somewhere and there's no salt, I will continue to look around, confident that there is salt present, but not imagining that the salt is going to magically appear where salt is not. So we see even now, like a lot of that energy right now in separation is recognizing that their own approach in relationality towards moving towards something is, again, this clarification between the difference between moving towards someone from a place of recognizing the possibility of what is present versus the potentiality in seeing something that is not. So a lot of this energy in separation is just remembering the difference. Again, what do we say is possible? When we say something is possible, it's because we see, even if it's small, even if it's a kernel, we see the tangible ability of something that is there that can grow, right? Like a seed. Versus seeing nothing and saying, if I look at the nothing, maybe something will appear there that does not exist. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy in separation, that change doesn't feel like it's happening without. That is a change in your perception that is happening within, that is allowing breakthroughs over states or spaces that you may have felt like you were having some kind of energetic hurdle before. Because this isn't the energy in separation that's trying to draw forth something out of someone that it isn't present. This is the energy that's just looking and utilizing their power of observation to see if it is there. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is coming into the divine union frequency, what do we effectively see that is happening at this time? For masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, that is that moment you feel like you're overcoming an obstacle, right? Overcoming that obstacle, if you will, is coming as a direct result of seeing the experience of feeling the difference between observing, again, the same exact approach. What is possible versus what is potential. And if this is the energy right now that is moving towards someone because they did the work in observing whether something was possible there, and they're feeling that expression, they're seeing it occurring in the tangible space. This isn't energy that's operating in that what if mentality, like what if something can appear where something is not. This is the energy that's already saying, this is the start of something beautiful, because I already see that something is moving in a positive direction. I already see that green flag. I already see the fact that what I'm hoping to manifest is already there. I just want to grow it. I just want to expand it. So we see even now, like that energy, even coming into divine union right now, is feeling that energetic breakthrough. But again, the breakthrough is the one that happens within the self that allows the observation. So a lot of the energy right now coming into divine union is getting clarity on past situations now, by seeing the difference of between feeling that sense of lack, wanting something that is not there, versus feeling something is there and just hoping to energetically grow it. While for the energy right now that is coming, that is deep within the divine union frequency, that perception, that ability to perceive, that ability of moving towards positivity at this time, a lot of that energy is doing that work to help facilitate and build that sense of perception in the energy around the divine union frequency. Because we see even now that for a lot of the energy that is moving in that way, coming into that, we saw last week was a lot of clarification, helping the energy understand and recognize what they were seeing, especially in relationality to changes that may occur. And we see now a lot of this energy this week is the expansion point, or the radiating out or building upon that point of positivity. So we even see now, like there's that moment of recognizing that if like the energy is moving very quickly and it's creating that sense of surprise, almost helping, not matching the energy if they're feeling that obstruction, but recognizing the compassion that's coming through in someone that might not understand what is occurring, being able to come into a state or space of lending them that positivity, helping them see that that's coming, that those changes are coming from a place of positive. That is that amplification point that almost feels like it is the increasing of the positivity and abundance around some of the energy in the divine union, by having that moment of not only being able to share good news to others, but also coming into that state or space of helping give your own perspective to someone else that may make it easier for them as they proceed forward. Fifth card in our 5-card spread for today is, we've got here our 6 of Pentacles in its upright. A lot of this feeling of generosity right now that we're seeing that's potentially occurring, especially for the energy within the divine union frequency, because what did we see was a lot of the energetic hurdle last week that was potentially occurring. Moving through that moment, potentially trying to move very quickly, feeling some of that sense of resistance and energy around you, but not letting that, not taking it personally. Again, not taking it personally, much like the energy in separation is doing right now, but almost moving from a state of helping someone understand or better recognize, taking something, again, almost at face value, giving someone the energetic benefit of the doubt, is what is allowing right now a lot of that, I want to say, that feeling of positivity that's extending not only in relationality to the energy within the divine union frequency, but also to the energy surrounding it. Because that is almost that moment that we saw, that is like the gift that occurs when you experience or receive something that feels like it comes from a place of conflict, but instead you don't match that same resistance point, but you move into that state of flexibility. You move into that state of compassion. And we see right now that a lot of the energy that's coming, that's moving forward in that way, they're moving with that open heart, trying to share their joy, and share their joy not just between themselves, but also with the energy around them. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, having done that hard work first, navigating through those situations, building as much clarity as possible towards one another prior to building an energetic connection, a lot of this energy is feeling that amplification or that increase right now, something that is growing. But what's beautiful about this is an energy that's feeling it within the self and not knowing whether the other person is feeling it. This is that energy that's built enough trust between one another in articulating upon what those manifestation goals are, that it feels like that blossoming, if you will. It feels like that moment of mutual growth. It feels like that moment that you're moving and expanding with someone else, and they're feeling it too, because we see even now that this energy is doing a lot of work, not only to feel like that, but to be communicative in the process of doing so, because this is the energy that is moving away. This isn't energy that has to sit there and try to struggle with each other to try to figure out what the manifestation goal is, right? This is an energy that is caught in that moment of just trying to see if they're on the same page with someone. This is the energy that is feeling that amplification point in knowing, in having the security, in building the energetic trust with the counterpart, because they've experienced and expressed their manifestation goals. And so now they're able to almost articulate and share what they're energetically feeling, because that is that moment of feeling something small that is blossoming, something that is present, that is there. And that is the gift that the energy coming into divine union is providing each other at this time. Because if they're moving into that state now where they're really investing in making those energetic connections with one another, this is the energy that's almost reassuring each other that it's there and present in the process. By communicating and saying we are on the same page, we want the same things, and what we are trying to move towards right now, we feel that radiance point in the sense of identifying and recognizing it's growing. The energy in separation is having the breakthrough and recognizing you can't grow you can't grow something with someone who won't tell you what's in the earth. You can't plant a seed with someone who won't tell you what it is that they aspire and desire to grow with you. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy in separation, that sad but true mentality is what the energy is recognizing, that is helping the energy progress forward right now. Because this is the energy that's reaffirming to themselves, if they're not seeing something expressing in a potential counterpart, this isn't the energy that's taking it personally. Right? This isn't the energy that opens the cupboard and doesn't see the salt and goes, what's wrong with me? Why isn't there salt in the cupboard? What is wrong? What do I have to change about myself to make the salt appear in the cupboard? This is the energy that says, if I look in the cupboard and there's no salt, maybe I check another cupboard. Maybe that's not the cupboard for me. So this is the energy that is simply taking that approach to a certain extent, not building into the potential of what could appear, but the possibility of what is present is what is allowing a lot of this energy right now to move with a lot more determination. But that determination is coming via the selectivity process through which one is going forward in relationality to building an energetic connection with a potential counterpart. This is not the energy that's willing to sink the cost of building into an energetic or passionate connection with someone with a wait and see approach in relationality to what that manifestation goal is. This is the energy that's saying it's either present or it is absent. It is either there or it is not. And that ability of, again, moving into that state, this isn't energy that says, I'm not going to match energy. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you don't have a manifestation goal? Great. Now I don't have a manifestation goal. Now we both don't have manifestation goals. Ha ha ha. That's the energy goes, that's nuts. Why would one ever do that? That's the energy. It says, I don't change the manifestation goal to match the energy around me. I hold the energetic standard and then identify if it's there or not. And so even in that way, we see that a lot of this energy is, again, even if there's some spaces that they're separating themselves from right now, there's a lot of vitality in that connection point, because that's the energy that's saying, I'm looking for the energy that is matching my vibration. I'm looking for the energy that wants the things that I want. The job isn't for me to change or to adapt to an energy that doesn't show it so that I can fit in wherever they want to put me. My job is to effectively recognize and say, are we on the same page? Are we there? Look how easy it can be if we're just able to be in the same space. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Page of Cups and our Two of Wands in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Three of Cups in its upright. Look how easy it can be if you just concentrate and say, I'm moving towards the energy that makes that easy. Right? That's the energy going, this is the energy in separation going, I'm moving towards the energy that makes that easy. That's like the man. And here's what we see even now. This is either coming out of one or two different modalities that we were seeing that were happening in separation right now. The energy that is moving into, that is in separation, even if there were new possible partnerships that started to grow during Taurus season. We saw one or two different modalities, whereas there may be a moment of stepping away from something at this time. The first one was seeing and recognizing two energies that saw the qualities and characteristics that they would ascribe and desire in a perfect counterpart, but they had different manifestation goals. So someone who was open and honest and expressive about what they wanted, and in that moment you recognize that you wanted very different things. But even in that moment, separating healthy karmic connection. Even in the moment of separation, healing the karmic connection, because there we have people that are meeting good friends, meeting good energetic counterparts. There's still something preserved there, because this is the energy that says you came forward with compassion. You put the compassion you felt towards me above your own needs. You didn't see the other person energetically as a means to an end, so much as a place of sharing and saying, this is what I desire, and then moving away from them if it was not the desired in the same context. So this is the energy that even in that moment, building beautiful relationships, building beautiful friendships, because that is almost that moment that you may say to someone, even though we may not want the same things, we should definitely stay in energetic contact. Like, we should definitely continue forward in this way, because that is that energy. It almost says thank you in that moment to someone, because this is the energy saying, you are an example of who I am seeking. Were the manifestation goals the same? Right? And in a way, like, that feels like that radiance of joy, because that energy feels like there's that moment of observing something in the tangible space that is the expression of their manifestation goal coming to fruition. Or these are spaces and places wherein someone was able to articulate upon what a manifestation goal was that they had. Someone else was not able to do so in the same context. And this is energy that's not taking it personally if they're not seeing a manifestation goal be presented. And the ability not to take it personally is the breakthrough point. It is the amplification of joy, because that is the energy that's just not sticking around to try to change it. It's just taking that delightful energy and saying, if it's not there, I'm not going to condemn myself for it not being there. I'm just going to move forward. And that ability of doing so, like, that is a lot of the healing that we see that is occurring for a lot of the energy in separation, which is the energy saying in that moment, I'm choosing energy that wants the same things I want. I'm choosing energy that is able to articulate that they want something in the future, because that is the energy that's saying, when someone gives clarity, someone allows me to be in a space of security and joy. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, this is the energy that's just feeling like they're having tremendous breakthroughs right now. Because if this is energy that was very conscientious and very cautious prior to building an energetic connection, made sure they were on the same page, even in spaces and places where they recognize their manifestation goals don't completely overlap. Do you recognize that when you realize that someone's expression of a manifestation goal doesn't overlap with yours, That probably means that you're experiencing someone that is coming through so authentically because they're not just trying to match your manifestation, but because there's that ability to adjust, because there's that ability to adapt, because you're giving each other the gift of being able to speak towards something. This is the energy that's building that sense of trust in the counterpart. This is the energy that's building that sense of openness in the counterpart, because it's that openness, it's that clarity, it's that gift of providing that to one another. That's that point that feels like that sense of abundance, because this is the energy that isn't building into the potentiality of what could occur around someone that they're not seeing present. This is the energy seeing something growing, seeing something developing, seeing something thriving that they've already planted the seed on, and it's doing so in a very robust and healthy way. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is deep within the divine union frequency, a lot of this energy that we're seeing right now, deep within the divine union frequency right now, this is that moment of sharing your joy, sharing your abundance. Because if there was that moment where we saw that a lot of that energy was going forward in such a way that they were feeling a lot of that inevitability in relationality to how they're moving, and then they were starting to experience some sense of obstruction by the energy around them, being able to articulate, again, not matching energy, but holding that energetic standard, is again that moment of putting compassion forward that almost lets that possibility be present of the amplification of positivity and radiance and joy. Continuing the clarification on these cards right now between our Two of Wands in combination with our Four of Cups, and it's upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. These are beautiful cards today. We've got here our Queen of Pentacles in its upright. So for masculine and feminine energy deep within the divine union frequency right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to, we see a lot of that feeling of stability that is coming into play. A lot of that feeling of stability, because I have to stress right now, the energy within the divine union does not seek the energetic approval of the energy outside of the divine union. What are they doing? What happens when we don't try to match energy? We set the energetic standard. We set the energetic standard. So we see even now, like that feeling, if you will, that is that moment that we see, and this is like where it gets really beautiful, because remember those Venn diagrams that we were talking about, right? The Venn diagrams we were talking about for the energy that was coming into divine union. This is the divine union frequency, basically doing this energetically with other parts of the divine union frequency, because this is that effectively that moment where we see that feeling of security, that feeling of stability. This is the energy that's working very hard in feeling like this is the energy that feels very stabilized in relationality to being of one mind. When we say one mind, we don't mean someone who like you're in counterpart energy with and you think the exact same things. You're always on the exact same page. No, these are the energies that feel that similarity in relationality to priority, in relationality to goal, in relationality to what builds that like fortifying feeling within the self. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy within the divine union frequency, that feeling of setting the energetic standard, right? That is effectively a moment that feels like very radiant and beautiful right now, because not only does it feel like you're communicating and you're expressing from that position, but you're also navigating through and helping others with their own decisions, with their own determinations. And we see even now that there's something about the perception of the energy within the divine union that is giving the energy outside the divine union a moment of being able to see that sense of possibility, that amplification of choice, right? This is that moment that we see that a lot of the work of the energy coming into the divine union, this is that amplification of the energy doing a lot of the same right now within the divine union, but effectively towards energy outside of it. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into the divine union right now, this is a lot of energy that feels like they're having personal breakthroughs via the connection to the potential counterpart. This is why we see even now that this energy may not be moving with a lot of speed. These processes are slowing down. Why? Because the energy is feeling the vibration of experiencing the energetic feeling of the security and the stability in the present context. This isn't energy right now that's working into that state or space of expectation or anxiety as to what something may be. This is the energy that's already feeling the satisfaction and stability of experiencing that sense of security that is articulated and already present in a potential partnership. And when you feel that stability and security, you can slow something down, because then it's just a question of watching something grow. This isn't energy that's looking where nothing is and saying, I can't wait until a manifestation goal appears here. Maybe if I hold on a little more, this manifestation goal will appear. This is energy that is sharing a dream right now. They're sharing an aspiration on where something can go. And the feeling of sharing the dream is the energetic manifestation that has come into fruition. For a lot of the energy right now, that is the manifestation goal. That is feeling the energy of it. Remember what I told you with a lot of the energy deep within the divine union frequency? This is now that lesson coming down towards the energy coming into divine union. And there's that moment when you're feeling that, you're suddenly not necessarily rushed to get anywhere, because you're in a place where you like where something is. It feels good instead of feeling not good. While for masculine and feminine energy, this in separation, this is the energy that's building into that point of stability. And a lot of it is creating that feeling of breakthrough. Masculine and feminine, a bit of a different feeling right now. Bearing in mind, it's not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy, this is feminine energy not taking the lack of a manifestation goal appearing in masculine energy personally. This is the feminine energy that's just reminding themselves and saying, if a masculine energy does not have an ability to articulate upon a manifestation goal, that's the feminine energy that's no longer asking and saying, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? What do I need to adjust about myself to be able to render that coming forward? This is the energy of the feminine saying, if I have a manifestation goal, and if I deliver the manifestation goal to the masculine, they either have one and they don't. This is, again, the feminine almost reaffirming themselves and saying, masculine hasn't just popped out of into existence in the moment that I see them. That the energy of the masculine must have a manifestation goal. This is the energy of the feminine going, the masculine energy must have a manifestation goal. The feminine is moving that state of saying, it is my responsibility to just observe whether that's a masculine that has an ability to articulate upon whether that what that manifestation goal is. And that's the feminine just feeling that sense of security and stability and saying, that is the feminine saying, I'm not going to match the masculine in that race to the bottom if like the masculine isn't able to articulate on what their manifestation goal is. This is the feminine energy going, if I'm going to hold my energetic standard, and that's going to be a point of requirement. That's the feminine saying it's either there. If this is the feminine basically saying, this is the feminine recognizing that the breakthrough that's happening in them reaching their manifestation goal. If you want a manifestation goal to arrive, you have to be willing to recognize what you have to change about your own self to be able to come into the state of being able to receive it. So this is a lot of the feminine energy saying that they're effectively like they're saying, I'm willing to let go of the part of myself that was willing to wait. I'm willing to let go of the part of myself that was willing to take that adaptability point. I'm going to let go of the part of myself that felt like I had to be changeable. This is the feminine energy almost feeling and saying, if I'm saying that my goal is to receive a manifestation goal from masculine, then I must be in a state where I only am willing to receive a manifestation goal from masculine. So we see even now that a lot of the feminine energy is feeling that that dream or that aspiration, changing something within them by raising their own energetic standard. Masculine energy and separation, this is much the same right now. Because if this is the masculine energy that is going through those processes, we saw that a lot of the masculine energy in this modality was experiencing the blowback of a feminine that wasn't ready to accept the manifestation goal of the masculine once they received it. This is the masculine saying, I need to see that me and the feminine are on the same page. The only way I can manifest a strong partner is if I give them the opportunity to show me that they're energetically strong. I have to be strong towards the feminine. If I want the feminine to join me in my manifestation goal, I must articulate what that is. I can't build on the hope that one day they might, or I might feel safe enough to do so. I must go through my own journey of self and find the confidence in order to tell the feminine what I want, so that I can find the feminine that also desires that in kind. So we see even now that both of these energies in separation going through deep changes via their internal refusal to accept or reject what is not, but recognizing that by accepting what is not, that is the change that is happening from within, because it's that ability of coming into that state of discernment, not taking something personally, but taking someone at face value, that is allowing this energy to take new approaches in relationality to moving towards what it is that you aspire and desire going forward. While for masculine and feminine energy, coming into divine union, what we're effectively seeing for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, if these are spaces and places wherein you've done that work, you went through that pathwork of discernment, do you see how much trust is coming into these relationships right now? Because this is energy that's feeling the easement of knowing that they're on the same page, moving towards the same dream. It's like they're sharing a dream between them right now. So even now, that's that energy. It doesn't assume that that connection is changing. There's still that wait and see approach, but it doesn't feel like one that you're racing to, because you're not trying to race towards a manifestation goal to change the energy that you're feeling between you and another counterpart. This is energy that's almost willing to take it slow now, because you feel how much different it feels when you're operating in that state and space of clarity and understanding, and equally being committed and sharing a dream as to where something could go. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within the divine union frequency, this is a lot of the energy that is sharing their approach to energy outside the divine union frequency. This is a lot of the energy like communicating and showing their perspective in such a way that it's helping, like I want to say it's almost extending that vibration to a certain extent, because this is the energetic equivalent of helping someone see something from a different perspective that is building that sense of grounding, if you will. And that ability, that approach, like this is almost that energy, it feels like they're giving back to a certain extent, because this is the energy that is feeling that sense of security, not only in experiencing something for themselves, but being able to share it with those around them. Continuing to get clarification between our Four of Cups and our Wheel of Fortune in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Fool card in its reversal. Masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within the divine union frequency. This is that, and I keep telling you, I keep seeing this happening here for the energy within the divine union frequency. I keep hearing the same message of the energy outside the divine union frequency saying, feels like things are moving very fast. And this is the energy within the divine union frequency that keeps on articulating to energy outside the divine union frequency. If we had it our way, we would make it even faster. This is energy. You have to recognize that the energy within the divine union frequency right now is moving slower. Not for the sake of their own selves, but for the sake of the energy around them. Like that is that moment. I keep telling you, it's like a time disparity that's happening right now for energy within and without the divine union frequency. The energy outside the divine union frequency keeps on articulating and saying, like that surprise element, being like, this is happening very suddenly. While as the energy within the divine union frequency is almost amplifying and articulating and saying, no, it's actually, this feels like it is interminable. This feels like it is slow. This feels like it's moving very slowly. If we had our way, we would move things much more quickly, right? Because that's that gift. What happens, like I told you, It's almost like that equivalent of when you're trying to teach someone how to tie your shoes. Like, this is the energy within the divine union frequency that's like struggling to show the energy outside the divine union frequency, like how to tie their like shoes, because that's the energy that's moving so quickly right now in terms of the changes that they're making, that they're trying to bring the energy along with them, as it were, in such a way that they're trying to be energetically mindful of the recognition of like seeing and experiencing something for the first time that has been, again, moving into that state of inevitability. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, a lot of this work that we're seeing right now, I want to say, that's that feeling of slowing down. This is the energy that's feeling some of the relief and the relief and release that is happening in moving towards this energetic frequency, because that's that moment that you feel you don't need to rush the process. This doesn't feel like the energy that feels like they're like eager or anxious about where something is going, because the security and stability of what they're feeling right now is such that it almost feels like something has already arrived, right? And it's allowing for that sense of almost like savoring it, because this is the energy that doesn't feel like they need to tangibly change what they are experiencing in order to facilitate or change the energy that they feel between them and another individual. This is the energy that already feels they've done so, because they've done all of that hard work in terms of articulating and amplifying what those manifestation goals are, that is allowing for the facilitation of easement going forward. It's like they've already this is energy. It's like I've already overcome a hurdle with someone that it would have taken me years to overcome with someone else, or someone being like, I've never had this level or degree of clarity. This is the energy that even as they're doing so, they're healing something from the past by seeing how easy it can be when you're moving with the energy that is matching your frequency. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is in separation, this is the energy that is changing themselves to overcome their own hurdles. Because if this is energy that is recovering from past experiences wherein those manifestation goals were not matching, or were not present, or were absent, for feminine energy, this is the feminine energy reaffirming to themselves and saying the lesson that is learned in those past experiences is overly internalizing external problems. Feminine just accepting and saying, I have a tendency of overly internalizing external problems. So what is the feminine energy doing again? If the feminine energy doesn't see a manifestation goal that's apparent in a masculine, particularly at a time that the feminines articulated it, this is the feminine energy saying, I'm not going to internalize an external problem. I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to struggle, I'm not going to agonize as to what's wrong with me. Why isn't it appearing? Why won't they give it to me? Why don't they want that with me? This is the feminine going, if it's not there, it's not about me. It's just not present. So that's the feminine that, again, that approach, if you will, is the energetic breakthrough to a certain extent, because that is the energy that is, again, feeling the shift within, which is how they address or navigate those circumstances. That is, again, recognizing a blockage sooner rather than later, right? That ability of doing so is, again, the feminine energy feeling like that's the no that leads to the yes. While for masculine energy right now, that ability of saying, I can only know that feminine is in the same place as me if I articulate the manifestation goal. And if this is the I got to tell you right now, if this is the masculine energy that went through all the trouble of coming into confidence to articulate a manifestation goal to feminine, and feminine didn't have it to the same degree, this is the masculine. And again, if this is the masculine energy that further went through that work of not taking it personally, but using their powers of observation, this is, again, the masculine saying the same exact thing we just talked about with the feminine, which is, if I just met a feminine energy and we're building and sharing on this connection of talking towards the past, but there seems to be no ability of that feminine to talk towards the future, even when I do, that's because the feminine energy just told me what their manifestation goal is. That's the feminine energy holding on to the past, that they're waiting for the manifestation of the past to return, that they're really saying that they're not ready to let go. So we see even now, like, that's a masculine having a little bit more compassion, because that's a masculine that feels like they can see something in relationality to that being a feminine that's not truly ready to heal. So that's a masculine almost saying, when that feminine energy is ready to heal, they know where to energetically find me. They know they know which direction I'll be headed, right? Because that's the masculine that says, I don't want to feel like I'm pulling someone into my manifestation goal if they're still staring at the past behind them. This is the masculine that says, I want a feminine that wants the same things as me. And so that ability, both of these energies in separation, overcoming their own internal blockages, that's allowing them to facilitate forward at a much more expedient rate towards their manifestation goals. And that doesn't mean you're magically making something appear where something is not. It means you recognize where it's not so that you can move towards where it is, right? The only way to find something is to find out where it's not. So that's what this energy right now in separation is doing. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between our Wheel of Fortune in its reversal and our Six of Pentacles. One card to clarify. Two cards to clarify. We've got here, look, our Moon card and our Two of Pentacles, because this is what the energy in separation has worked through. This is the energy that recognizes that in the past experiences, you may have allowed yourself to stay in a place of mystery. You may have allowed yourself to occupy a state of mystery, right? So when you move towards someone and they're not articulating what they want, what they are articulating to you is they are saying something to you. They're saying to you, I inhabit a space of mystery. I inhabit a space of unknowing. So this is the energy that's taking the circumstances and situations at face value. This isn't the energy that is wondering why. This is energy that is recognizing the inherent qualities and characteristics of a relationship to recognize whether they choose to inhabit it or not. So this is the energy in separation that's coming to heal to such an extent that says, when I move towards someone and they are being energetically elusive as to what their manifestation goals are, what I'm really doing is I am consenting. I am giving them my consent via my choice to experience a situation or scenario where I will always be wondering. Because the one truth that they've given me, the one truth that they've articulated, is that they desire to keep a relationship in a liminal space. And that is that moment of the energy saying, when I want a manifestation goal and I choose a liminal space, what I'm actually saying is I don't want a manifestation goal because I'm choosing the liminal space. So that is that energy that is effectively recognizing and identifying that. So if these were spaces and places in the past where someone had a manifestation goal and someone else wasn't able to articulate it, or someone felt like they were begrudging or putting it off, or having a wait and see approach, this is the energy that recognizes in those moments of saying to themselves, I was consenting. I was saying yes. It doesn't matter what I was saying because my words weren't matching your actions. You can't say you want a dog and then go chasing after a cat. You can't say you want a cat and then go chasing after a dog and then hold the cat up and say, I have no idea why this cat is not a dog. That is not how manifestation works. Rather, this is energy that is recognizing the changes that must be made within and saying, if I want something, if I desire something, then my actions must match my words. Because if I say I want something, but then I move towards something else, then I am experiencing a dysregulation within myself that needs to be observed between what I say that I want in the realm of the mind versus where I'm actually going, which is where my heart is. So when this is the energy right now in separation, if this is occurring, that says, if it's happening, the energy is actually seeing. They're seeing within themselves and going, why is it that I'm saying one thing and I'm moving towards another? Why is it that I'm saying one thing and I'm moving towards another? And this is the energy. What's happening right now? You're healing. You're healing because you're going through, you're not looking outside of the self saying, this is not the energy that's looking, going, why isn't this cat a dog anymore? This is the energy going, why am I asking for a dog and chasing after a cat? Why am I looking for a cat and chasing after a dog? This is the energy that's recognizing, coming into alignment with the self by perceiving and recognizing the hurdles that may have been experienced in the past, wherein you wanted something, but you moved towards something that wasn't giving indication that it was going to provide that. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is coming into divine union, a lot of this energy is feeling that sense of balance. They're feeling that sense of understanding. They're working through that process within the self via V, experiencing and recognizing the difference between potentiality and possibility. I'm going to say it again. What is potentiality? Potentiality is seeing something that is not there at all, but always hovering into the space of something that could appear where something is not. It's operating in that realm of what could happen that isn't there. While we see here possibility is that moment of seeing something that is expressly there, observing something that is there, and hoping to make it bigger, hoping to make it greater. So this is a lot of the energy that's healing on their own journey right now, because they're experiencing via V their own ability to move towards someone with a state of clarity and openness. The difference between operating in potentiality, something not there that you hope will appear, like they had the rabbit out of the hat, versus that feeling of potentiality. Possibility, like that moment of that root that's coming out of the ground, if you will, that you see, that you feel, and you recognize that you know that can grow, that the possibility is there, right? So we see even now that this is the energy that's feeling that breakthrough point and recognizing that desire of something to appear where nothing exists, versus the energy that feels that beautiful growth of something that is starting to grow, and you feel that sense of, again, easement and patience because you see it tangibly expressing itself. While for masculine and feminine energy that is deep within the divine union frequency, this is about shedding light. This is about shedding light, because we see even now if these are spaces or places where, and again, that the energy is feeling that growth that is occurring. You can understand now why that feels like it's so slow but inevitable right now for the energy deep within the divine union frequency. But for the energy outside the divine union frequency, it feels like that. It does feel like the rabbit out of the hat. It does feel like something that's just like, appearing. So what is the energy doing within the divine union frequency? They're walking them through that growth. They're walking them through that ability of something and helping them say, I know that there's something that you're just experiencing, but let me give you that sense of positivity and understanding, like this is something that like is being brought forth, but it's not just, it's something that has been growing and that now is almost like reaching its moment that you can see that it is visibly present. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Three of Cups in its upright and our Queen of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Justice card. Because again, the energy deep within the divine union frequency right now is feeling that sense of, again, allowing that moment. Like this is why we see that the energy right now within the divine union frequency is doing so much of that work in trying to, like, I want to say, share that feeling of positivity, share that feeling of abundance, experience that as, again, almost looking at that sense. I'm going to say taking something that felt like shock and turning it into delight and surprise, right? Because there's that moment here that we even see that this is almost the energy within the divine union articulating to those outside, the balance. Like I told you, this is energy right now that the reason they're moving towards one another with so much of that inevitability is because if these are spaces and places wherein those manifestation goals came to the point where they merged so that they're like a perfect circle, this is the energy that's almost trying to say what you're seeing doesn't feel like a sharp turn to the left. It feels like that energy that's almost come home to itself. Right? So that feeling of rightness, that feeling of wholeness, that is a lot of that energy that's almost, again, feeling that within, and now they're expressing it without. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that is coming into divine union, this is that feeling that you're experiencing. I got to say, even if these are new energetic connections that are just starting, some of the energy right now experiencing this can already tell that something is different. Something about this, the quality and characteristic, and I can even see them trying to articulate it to those around them. and saying to a certain extent, something is different here. But they're recognizing and identifying that the something is different doesn't, and this might be the energy around even around the potential counterpart, saying something is different. It's you. Something is different. It's you. It's your approach. Something is different, because for the feminine energy, this is almost the energy around the feminine saying you're grounded. You're stable. You're looking at things from a point of stability. You're not becoming adaptable. This is the feminine that recognizes and identifies and feels that stability, because that's the feminine that recognizes holding to that point of resiliency, navigating forward, having the confidence to articulate upon the manifestation goal, and not feeling like one has to become adaptable, but just trying to find the counterpart that's willing to match in the same way. This is the energy of the feminine that recognizes that this is almost like that maturation process of the self. While for masculine energy right now, again, same thing. If this is the start of something here where the masculine feels like there's something very different that's occurring, this is the masculine recognizing that, again, creating the opportunity of allowing feminine to become a true mirror to you wasn't something that you just stumbled upon. It started by giving feminine energy the opportunity to do so. So if this is the masculine that came into that point of being vulnerable enough to be able to express to the feminine what those manifestation goals are, and the feminine having a moment and building that vulnerability and saying, yes, that's what I want too. That is that moment of the masculine feeling that sense of elevating one's own self that is allowing you to move towards a feminine that is equally invested in the manifestation goal, because you've both equally articulated it to one another. So we see even now, like, this is feeling like that sense of like believing in oneself, but almost seeing the expression and expansion point of these energies, taking that risk that allowed for that magnitude of joy. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is deep within the divine union, again, this is the energy in separation that is holding the energetic standard. These are energies in separation. If these are energies that articulated their manifestation goal, either one or two different modalities just occurred. This is either the energy that recognized that while you're seeing the qualities and characteristics of an ideal counterpart in an individual, but you have different manifestation goals. You are wishing each other nothing but the best as you do so, and potentially coming into deep friendships here, because you're recognizing someone who put the mindfulness of your own self ahead and beyond their own needs being met. Or these are energies that went to the work of being able to articulate a manifestation goal, did not see the same expressed in the same way, and is feeling completely balanced and moving away from it, because that's that moment of saying, if I want what I desire, and I desire someone to be able to articulate on the manifestation goal, if it's not there, then I'm moving towards the energy I know has that. Because that's that moment that feels like the no that leads to a yes. The important thing is not the energy internalizing this, but observing it and continuing forward. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Pentacles and our Fool card in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Three of Pentacles in its upright. Heavy 3 today. Good, solid foundations that are forming here. Good, stable energy today. A lot of this concentration. Listen, this is not energy. This is not energy putting the cart before the horse. This is not energy that says, maybe I'll just build an emotional connection with someone. Maybe I'll just build a passionate connection with someone. And if I'm really lucky, maybe they'll decide to tell me what their manifestation goal is. Maybe I'll earn the privilege of getting to know what someone's manifestation goal is only after I've built an emotional or passionate connection with someone. This is the energy of saying the desire to articulate the ability to articulate a manifestation goal is a requirement. It is not an accomplishment. It is a requirement. It is not an accomplishment, because that is the energy in separation getting the same exact message that the energy up in the coming into divine union is, which is, what is this work done? This is the energy that did the hard work first. Made sure to amplify and articulate what the expectation or the manifestation goal is. So look how energetically secure the feminine feels now. because this isn't feminine that feels like they're moving towards masculine blindly. This is feminine that feels like masculine in the time of experiencing and expressing the manifestation goal has said to them, you are my partner in this. You are moving with me in this. We are amplifying the choice of doing something energetically together. And even while that may not necessarily be a commitment bond at this moment, because these are new energetic energies that are coming together in this way, this is the energy that feels like this is the start of something really beautiful. This is the start of something really solid. This is energy that feels like they're seeing their manifestation in action, regardless of where it goes, because the qualities and characteristics of the counterpart are such that they are the arrival point of the manifestation. While for masculine and feminine, deep within the divine union frequency, this is the energy that's trying to bring the energy around them up to speed with where they are. Because we see even now a lot of the energy right now deep within the divine union is feeling very stable in relationality to what they're creating. Even now, if there's, and I have to say this even now, there's a lot of this clarification here, potentially for energy within the divine union frequency of articulating to others what their plans are, building that feeling of stability. Because if there's something here that's being experienced outside the divine union as a moment of shock and surprise, this is the energy that's almost helping to reassure the energy around them that there's a lot of thought and consideration being put into some of that modality, that it's not just happening very rapidly. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Fool card in its reversal, the Moon card in its upright, and our Two of Pentacles. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. Beautiful cards today. So much. A lot of focus on practicality today. A lot of just, again, we've been seeing a lot of this like getting things done energy the last few days, and heavy today. A lot of stability that we're seeing. Because this is the energy that's like, I want to say, not allowing for that realm of like, no procrastination here. This is like doing the hard part first kind of energy. This is like tackling the difficult things so that you can move into that state of easement sooner rather than later. It's a little bit, again, for the energy deep within the divine union, it's a little bit of that like ripping the Band-Aid effect that we're almost seeing here, right? Because what we're really seeing is a lot of this concentration here. I got to stress this. A lot of this concentration just coming about as a result of anything that feels like it's vacillating. This is the energy to a certain extent that's just really continuing to put a lot of that pathwork of determination into play by, again, making those decisions, getting that work done, facilitating through, doing what one needs to get, like doing the things that one needs to do with the information that one has, as it were. And that's why we see even now that a lot of that energy is like providing clarity, providing context, or seeking clarity and context to a certain extent. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is the easement point. This is the breakthrough, because this is the manifestation of, again, the mystery here isn't in what you're offering one another, right? The mystery is positive, because that is a mystery that feels like it's delight, because this is the energy that recognizes that the mystery that you feel around each other doesn't lie in wondering what the other person is thinking or feeling or what they actually want in partnership. This is the energy in terms of seeing, like wanting and desiring to learn more about each other along the way. Like all of that expanse of energetic resource that is freed up once you're able to just feel that easement point. And this is the energy that like is building that deep appreciation for one another, because that clarity allows so much room to invest in all of those deeper things. These are partnerships that are potentially deepening at a very rapid rate, because this is the energy that's feeling that wait and see approach. But at the same time, there's that groundedness, there's that anchor there, and feeling like your manifestation goals arrived, because the mystery isn't one that creates anxiety and not knowing where someone is or what they desire. The mystery comes in like that beautiful sense of like uncovering and learning more about one another along the way. While for masculine and feminine right now in separation, this is the energy that is recognizing, again, when you move towards someone that insists on keeping something in a liminal space, what you're basically consenting to is someone who is trying, like, that is that energy of saying, I'm choosing not to be in a relationship that feels like it is a mystery. That is the energy that's almost saying and articulating to themselves and saying to a large degree that, like, if this is energy that feels like there were blockage points in the past because you could never tell what the manifestation goal was with someone, or they weren't able to articulate it, this is the energy that's healing from those spaces and places by, like, effectively articulating and amplifying and saying to them oneself to a certain degree that choice, like, that's the energy that's almost saying, I'm not moving towards the energy that feels like it wants me to live in a space of confusion. I'm not moving towards the energy that makes me feel like I'm living in a space of uncertainty. This is the energy that says, I'm making the choice to move towards what is actually there. I'm moving towards the energy that shows the possibility of something that it doesn't exist in the possibility. It's got the apparent presence of something that is already growing, as opposed to looking at something that's not there and hoping that something will appear where something is not. So that is the energy that's recognizing that change begins within the self. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Justice card and our Three of Pentacles. Beautiful cards today. One card, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Five of Wands in its reversal. This is the energy, again, if there was anything that they started to experience here, some kind of new energetic connection, and they started to feel some of that resistance just in the space of articulating about what the manifestation goal is, this is the energy going, I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting my peace. Because that's the energy says, that is not an accomplishment once I built an emotional or passionate connection with someone. That is a requirement. Because that is the energy that remembers that, like, when we experience something in that nature towards someone, being with them in a larger degree doesn't make that go away. It's like taking something and cranking it to 11. So this is the energy that's literally saying that their manifestation's goal is saying, look at this manifestation goal. This is the energy saying, if I can articulate a manifestation goal, someone must do so in kind, with ease. That's as simple as the manifestation goal is for a lot of this energy that's saying, I'm choosing the energy that makes it easy to receive a manifestation goal, that it's not going to create that space of having to extend all of my time, effort, and energy and trying to understand where something is going. This is the energy that says, if I meet someone on the road and I say to them, where are they going? I'm only choosing to move forward with the energy that's able to articulate where that is, right? That's the energy that's going, if someone's going, like, that's them going, I'm not going to go move forward with that person. They don't know where they're going. That person might get mad if they don't like where I'm taking them. Or if the energy comes up and it goes, where are you going? And they're like, well, why don't you walk with me for a little bit and I'll tell you. Why don't we hold hands along the way? Why don't we go a little bit further together? And then maybe I'll tell you where I'm going. This is the energy saying, the manifestation goal is there or it's not. And this is the energy saying, I'm not going to try to wrestle it out of someone. I'm just trying to see if it's present or is it absent. While for masculine, and that ability of recognizing is a shift within that's allowing a lot of that energy to focus on, again, going back into that introspection of self, saying, what is it that I'm truly seeking in partnership? While for masculine and feminine energy right now, coming into divine union, a lot of that energetic equivalent that we're seeing here is the amplification of feeling the relief. Look at these energies right now coming into divine union. They feel like that sense that this is the start of something really beautiful because it is starting equal. It is starting balanced. It is starting from a place of openness and clarity. These are energies that are not needing to look at each other and wonder what is happening. This is energy that is articulated to each other what that is and where it exists. And that's that moment that's almost, again, they feel like that manifestation is coming through in the amplification of something of saying, you make something so easy. You make something so easy. You make something so effortless, but it wasn't effortless. Do you see how much work this energy is put in the self to make something hard look so easy? While for the energy right now that's deep within the divine union frequency, this is that easement point that occurs when you feel like you're sharing like mind with someone. These are energies where it's like their manifestation goals are such that it just feels like that sense of like certainty or certitude that occurs when you recognize and know that you and another person are on the same page and you want the same things. And that's that moment that almost feels like that easement. That's why this energy wants to move so much faster, because this energy feels very confident on what they want. It's more just bringing the energy around them up to speed along the way. Like that's where that sense of like trying to like grease the energetic wheels is to a certain extent. Continuing to get clarification between our Three of Pentacles and our Ace of Pentacles. Busy day. One card to clarify. Clarification coming through right now. I told you the energy right now within the divine union frequency with our Six of Cups in its reversal has a lot to do with smoothing out relations outside of the divine union energy. This is going to be anything that feels like this could be as simple or as complicated as, disagreements between friends, disagreements between family, smoothing over unhealed karmic connections. Like a lot of this work that we see, I told you, this is the energy that's doing a lot of work to try to extend or facilitate that sense of positivity to some of the energy around the divine union frequency. Because again, if this is one of those moments that we see that there's any kind of like points of obstruction or points of conflict that are occurring as a result of a divine union coming together, this is the energy that's not becoming reactive in that moment. It's not like they're concentrating all their time, effort, and energy outside, because this is energy that does not look towards the energy outside of the union for like that determinative point on how they move. This is the energy that's almost like trying to bring that energy on board, trying to help ease, trying to help mediate, trying to help lend a positive point of view, lend a positive perspective, offer something to make something energetically easier, as it were. Because we see here like that's almost that amplification point of the energy within the divine union, trying to set the energetic standard, not matching energy. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, a lot of that energetic equivalent that we see is a breakthrough point. The problem is, and I got to stress this right now because this could be coming up for some of the energy that's coming into divine union. If you feel very triggered right now, often we don't understand why something is unhealed between us and another energetic counterpart until the moment we receive something that we hadn't received in the way that we did before. So for a lot of this energy right now, receiving the manifestation goal, seeing how easy it can be to build a stabilizing moment in a new energetic connection, it can sometimes feel very haunting, or it can feel very painful, because it almost harkens back to that moment wherein you may have experienced or received an energetic wound in this way. Because it's that moment that we feel or see, again, like receiving something at ease in something that you may have felt like you struggled or agonized or suffered through to try to receive from another individual. This often builds that sense of articulating or amplifying like some of those energetic wounds to a certain extent, because it's almost like that reminder of that wound that feels like it flares up at the moment that you receive what would have prevented that wound from being created in the first place. While for masculine and feminine energy in separation right now, this is the energetic hygiene that we see, that a lot of the energy right now in separation is maintaining as a result of experiences from the past wherein they received energetic wounds of this nature. This is why we see a lot of that energy, seeing the possibility and potential, even now, potentially moving towards someone that they started to build that connection to, but then reaffirming their own commitment to the self and saying, I don't move in that way. I don't move in that capacity anymore. I'm not going to build off the expectation of receiving something I don't see in a counterpart, because a lot of the energy experienced some very vicious wounds in this way, etherically. This is the energy that says, operating from a place of, again, It doesn't even have to be a lot here, right? This is the energy saying, I need to see that something is present. I need to see the tangibility point and someone articulating that something is actually there, being able to amplify and articulate upon what those manifestation goals are. And that is the energy, setting the energetic standard based off what was learned from having experienced a wound. And even now, if that's energy that has someone trying to come towards them without providing that, this is the energy almost like kindly like sending them back and saying, you don't understand. The risk is too great. And that's the energy giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying, I recognize that you might not be doing that with the express reason or purpose of creating an energetic wound of that nature, but I am very mindful via the wisdom of what could occur in such a scenario. So this is a lot of the energy within separation becoming very wise. Final card in for today between our 5 of Wands in its reversal and our 6 of Cups in its reversal. Oh, hold on a minute. Clarification coming through right now with our 8 of Wands in its reversal. Now, this is very intriguing because what did we say is happening to a certain extent here? We are seeing that for a lot of this energy right now in separation, we're just observing. This is the energy that feels like they're having an energetic breakthrough right now, especially if, again, they're moving away from something or someone that isn't giving that clarity. This isn't the energy that's sticking around to try to find out why. This isn't the energy that's trying to figure it out. This is the energy that's just observing it. And this is the energy that almost is remembering and requiring that sense of not only doing so, utilizing that sense of energetic hygiene, but also not feeling like there's an argumentative space for it. This is not the type of energy right now that feels like that this is a negotiation. This isn't the energy that feels like they need to negotiate as to whether there can be a connection there if there isn't a manifestation goal being brought forth. There could even be, I have to stress this right now, because I told you we saw 2 different modalities of what is happening right now for some of the energy in separation. Either spaces or places wherein there was an expressing of a manifestation goal and a recognition that those manifestation goals were different, which led to amicable separation, right? Potentially even deep friendships occurring. Or if these are spaces and places wherein someone is, and I have to stress this is where we could see a little bit of hairiness occurring, where someone is separating away from someone that they saw potential or possibility with, but someone was not able to articulate or amplify what their manifestation goals were in the wake of someone doing so. This is the energy that does not feel like they want to get into a conflict space over it. And because why? Because this is the energy, this is not feminine energy that wants to say to masculine, well, I'm departing from you because you didn't articulate what your manifestation goal is. Because this is the feminine that feels like if the masculine energy brings forth a manifestation goal at that point, it doesn't feel like a masculine that's authentically expressing a manifestation goal, so much as it feels like it is communicating a masculine that is trying to maintain the status quo. While for the feminine energy right now, for the masculine energy, if this is a modality wherein masculine feels like they see feminine that isn't ready to let go of the past in order to articulate upon what they want in the future, this is a masculine that may feel some reticence or reluctance in articulating to a feminine and saying, it seems like you're not ready to let go of the past, because that might feel like it's an energetic blow to a feminine that's trying to heal in that capacity. So you see, to a certain extent, for some of this energy, it almost doesn't bear repeating. It almost isn't, it's almost building that space of just letting something stop, letting that communication kind of just peter out, if you will. Because this isn't the energy that feels like it's a state or space of wanting to negotiate or arbitrate around that. Because that's the energy that recognizes the difference between someone saying something from the heart versus saying something and trying to elicit a reaction, or receiving something that is simply reactive because you're seeing how someone is moving or how someone, what is occurring. This is not energy that wants a manifestation brought forth because of a moment of reactivity. This isn't energy that's moving away from someone or something to try to elicit an energetic reaction, because they recognize that energy that comes forward and elicits reaction from action, it doesn't come from a space of authenticity. It comes from a space of fear. So the healed energy is almost being mindful of that, because this is an energy that's also saying to themselves, I don't want to build relationships off of fear or consequences, right? That's why this energy is almost trying to amplify if someone's trying to come towards them and give them something or offer something as they're departing. This is almost the energy saying, that's on that healed vibration, I don't operate like that. I don't move like that. I wouldn't conduct myself in such a way in hoping to elicit a response via going, like moving away from someone. But this is almost the energy feeling the blowback or the echo of that around them to such an extent that if they're moving forward in this capacity, they're almost experiencing and receiving that, because so much of the energy around them is still navigating through experiences wherein they may have experienced same. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, this is the affirmation of really understanding. Like for the energy that's, I have to say, a lot of the energy right now, regardless of where it goes, this is energy coming into divine union that feels like they're building connections off of so much authenticity and clarity that it is creating multiple closure points on experiences from the past. This could be energy right now that is just closing doors on so many experiences of the past right now, simply from having the breakthrough of experiencing and receiving a manifestation goal, in how easy it can be to facilitate a healthy connection with an energy that's willing to do so. That this is like almost a mass healing event I'm seeing for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, because it's like all it takes is one. All it takes is one clarifier. All it takes is one clarifying connection I'm seeing for all of those unhealthy ones to go bump, 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 bump. Because it's like it immediately adds the context and clarity that is required in order to build and maintain closure. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, that is in the divine union frequency, I gotta say, this is why we see that the amount of effort and concentration that the energy in divine union is willing to exercise towards bringing those around them up to speed, and then navigating as to whether that feels like it's coming from a place of joy or not, is almost that moment that at the same time, there's also this possibility for some of the energy right now within the divine union in feeling the opposite reaction occur. If these are energies that are making a lot of abrupt changes or moving into divine union, and suddenly there's that like energetic wall that goes up, right? If suddenly there's that moment of feeling like a connection just like reached an inviolability point due to the observation of the joy or the abundance of magnitude that's coming forth in the energy coming into divine union, that's a little bittersweet, because a lot of that feels like it's clarifying some unhealed connections that may have been around the divine union frequency that couldn't be observed until the divine union was present. So we see even now, like this could be some of that energy navigating a little bit of that feeling as well, because that could be that moment that feels, I want to say, like clarifying and bittersweet, but also a little a little upsetting. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is 7 of Swords in its reversal. And I gotta say, the only thing about this energy right now, we were seeing this, we've been seeing it a lot during that Gemini season, is that shortness, that no nonsense, if you will. There's a little bit of this shortness that's very present right now, right? And I have to say, I gotta just say this for everyone. I'm gonna just articulate this. Make sure that you're giving situations and circumstances the benefit of the doubt. Okay? Because, and I like to see the 7 of Swords in its reversal. But making sure that you give someone the benefit of the doubt right now is really important, because we see that so much of the energy across all the frequencies is building upon so many of the experiences of the past and not wanting to experience or repeat past lessons. that there may be an eagerness in closing out things because they look too much like something that may have hurt you from the past. Don't assume is what it is, like something that's been coming through heavily over and over for like the last week or so. Don't, live in the space of like observation, but not assumption, right? Like, let that be a moment where, again, expect the best unless you see indications that otherwise is occurring. Because even here we see, I told you, this has to do for the energy within the divine union of some of that volatility that we saw, having to bring someone up to speed and navigating and recognizing and wanting to come into that state of, giving the best possible intentions towards energy like that. Because again, a lot of that is helping them recognize that something that they may see around you is not the past repeating itself. That's why we see even now, like a lot of that energy within divine union has to like articulate if there's something there that feels similar but is different. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union right now, a lot of this feels like that echo effect of potentially looking at a past experience and feeling, again, that sense of positivity, but also feeling like that sense of sadness towards the past. Because if these are energies right now that are receiving closure by receiving something in the present, sometimes that almost requires you to revisit the past. And while it may be painful, we see that is that affirmation occurring, an understanding on a deeper level what was wrong around a situation in a context that you might not necessarily have even been able to perceive prior to receiving this perspective that you're experiencing with a counterpart. While for masculine and feminine energy in separation right now, this is the energy that's got like a hair trigger in anything that feels like it's even somewhat similar to a past situation. So remember, it's okay for situations to feel like they're repeating themselves. But what's really important is make sure that the choices that you're making right now are not based on the anxiety or fear of the past repeating itself. Let it be those moments that your true intention is guided forward. Because sometimes the past serves as a lesson, but sometimes the present serves as a correction. So remember and identify that and make sure that you're moving and let your heart guide you forward in that way. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here to experience it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video, and if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber name at the point of payment. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So I encourage you to do it there. Also, a few updates I want to let you guys know about. First and foremost, tarot class continues on Wednesday, June 19th, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our tarot studies with a class focused on the High Priestess card. Previous classes, we focused our energy and studies on the Fool and the Magician. All you need to do to become a part of that class is head over to my Substack, graystrega.substack.com. Your subscription to my Substack will grant you access to each month's live classes, as well as the course materials and recordings for all of the previous classes. So if you have plenty of time to catch up if you didn't make those first 2 classes, you'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have on anything that we're learning. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only do you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you also receive a one-on-one mentorship reading with me, where we will assess where you are in your own tarot journey, and I'll give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize the class and your pathwork most effectively going forward. One of the things that I did is I really tried to create these classes so that they would be useful to both an absolute novice tarot reader as well as a seasoned reader. There's something there for everyone. So if you're already joining us, I cannot wait to see you again on Wednesday. And even if you don't become a subscriber, I would encourage you to follow me on Substack to be able to receive my weekly newsletter and keep up to speed on any new events or offerings that I am delivering. Second of all, we are doing a giveaway. If you would like to win a free tarot reading with me, head over to my link tree in the bio. There is a 2-minute travel survey there. Filling out that survey will give you a giveaway entry into the giveaway. But if you would like to increase your chances to win, forward that giveaway to a friend. Because when I pull the winner for the giveaway, I will be giving out not 1, but 2 tarot readings. 1 to the individual I pulled and to whoever referred them to take the survey. So thank you guys so much if you've already entered, and I wish you the best of luck winning. Finally, I have a few new offerings I'm very happy to be offering my clientele. First, our tarot mentorship. Mentorship classes are either purchased on an individual level or as a package of monthly classes. So that is 4 45-minute classes, 1 per week, around the area or subject that you are most interested in. I do those classes on a very limited basis because they take a lot of work on my part. So there's a limitation on how many mentors I take at a time. Also, if you would like more consistent tarot support, I'm very pleased to offer my clients weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute tarot readings, 1 per week, that you can purchase if you would like to be more consistent in maintaining and keeping up to speed on where you are on your life path. Again, I want to thank you guys so much. A lot of these offerings are coming as a result of recommendations from my own clientele. So thank you so much for those recommendations. And if you have something you'd like me to offer, email me at gracestrega@gmail.com. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. And we will do this again